Hello, everyone. So, as usual for me in Halloween, I have waited till the absolute last moment to do absolutely anything about the holiday. So, no costume ready, no candy to give out the door yet. I am just like flying off the edge of my seat here. But thankfully, we have many options, and since I do technically have a Halloween party to get to on Monday, I decided to go to the saving grace of every last minute shopper in America, Amazon Prime. So let's take a look. Let's see what options there are for Transformer costumes these days, at the very least, just to kind of see what the kids can dress up as, and then maybe what I might have as an adult option. And then, just kind of check up on it, because I have honestly like I'm in the Halloween spirit. I'm kind of curious, and I got curious because I saw what you see on the screen right now, which is Disguise putting out a transforming Optimus Prime costume. I think every kid wanted this. Like every kid who loved Transformers wanted costumes that could actually transform. Yeah, unless your dad had an engineering degree and a ton of cardboard left over, that wasn't happening. Like you see those kids that like have like the working Bumblebee and Starscream costumes, and they can like fold down and like just like get down on their knees, and it just like all flips correctly to turn into a car or a jet. Yeah, most of us can't get that. Most of us couldn't get that as a kid, especially. So now we have this, which looks like an Optimus Prime Jack in the Box. I don't know. Some of these angles do make this look like a very weird presentation. This guy looks like Optimus Prime sticking his head out of like an Optimus Prime themed washer. I it's a bizarre looking costume, but give it credit, it works. You can actually like kneel down and it'll transform. It's at least like functional. Like you're actually like can actually pretend you're Optimus Prime a little bit. I think the Bumblebee one came out a little bit better, but if you don't wear the car component to it, it looks kind of sad. This is the saddest, most anemic Bumblebee I've ever seen in my life. They kind of got the scrawniest kid they could possibly imagine to wear this for the shoot. Now, with the armor, like with armor, I say, with the backpack, it does look better than the Optimus. You've got more arm clearance. Like the chest doesn't look so weird, and yeah, yeah, you just get down on your knees, you put your hands down, and boom, like there you go. Car. Super clever. Just never wear it without the backpack. You would not last long in a battlefield against a Decepticon, my friend. But this kind of just got me wondering what else was out there. Because, like, there's so many Transformer costumes now. The stuff for the toddlers is, like, the cutest. Because, like, I mean, aside from, yeah, it's a little kid. But it's kind of stuff that isn't attached to anything. Like you look at this design and like all the shapes of Optimus Prime are there, but obviously it's not based on any real Optimus Prime. So you could just be Optimus anytime for no matter what series is going on at the moment. That's just clever. That's just clever engineering is what that is. It's clever design work and marketing is what that is. So looks cute, looks fine. Bumblebee's kind of the same way. Nothing too exact about it. It could be just about any Bumblebee. And when you're that age, you don't even realize like how accurate you are. You just, you look in a mirror, you see the yellow and the black in the right spots. You see the mask that you're wearing. Like in your head, you're Bumblebee, right? It doesn't have to be super detailed and complicated. It doesn't have to win any awards. It just has to have the right colors in the right spots. And, a kid's going to love it. So, nice that there are like simple options out there too. And yeah, the costume's adorable. Then we get into some of the more intricate ones. We're still in Disguise as a company, by the way. So we have this, which is uh, a little bit closer to the evergreen design for Optimus Prime, which is again, pretty much expected. Hasbro has this thing where like if it's not tied to any media, you have to use these specific updated G1 designs. So not surprising that the costume exists, using the same mask as the transforming one, by the way, because we can't be bothered to make a new mold. But the costume itself is Fine. It's fine. For some reason, the crotch on this one looks super low, but it's fine. It's fine. Looks like Optimus Prime's like. Looks like it's like. It looks like Optimus Prime's transitions falling out of somewhere. I don't want to make any assumptions, but it's a little odd. The masks look way better than like the old costume masks that I had as a kid, though. Like we used to have those like super thin masks that held on with the thinnest rubber band ever. That's just stapled to it. This, like, I can actually see is like I can see the little bit of like elastic band, like an actual like proper band, and it's got a lot more depth than the costumes I had as a kid. So like they've come a long way. We can take a look at the Bumblebee one too, and the Bumblebee makes me laugh. Now, when it comes to a Halloween costume, a factory like a pre-made one like this, I didn't expect like an upsized mask. That's not a big deal. What makes me laugh about it is the sculpted plush abs on Bumblebee's windshield. Like this is a superhero costume. So it's a generic process they use to actually make this. All they really do is print something different on the actual costume in order to make different characters. And then if it needs a custom piece, like, the shoulder parts for Bumblebee, they add that on later. But for the most part, like, this just like screams of like, if we ever need to do a superhero, we'll just run it through the same machine and we'll just change it to red and blue, and now you're Spider-Man. And it was just funny to see Bumblebee with. It's just funny to see Bumblebee with a six-pack ab, but also see six-pack ab that goes through glass. That's fitness. Don't tell me about your exercise routine unless your abs can press through glass. Then I'm impressed. And of course, this kind of design is obviously super popular. Again, by disguise, but look how much better this looks. Like this looks specifically designed to be Bumblebee. So more expensive, but certainly like it's going to be worth the price if your kid really wants to look the part. I like that it even has the door wings and everything. So it's not all laughable. Some of these are actually really good. And then you have also things like this. Like look at this. Like you've got like actual physical pieces for the chest and the shoulders, like the boot, like the shoe, like the boots and the shoe covers actually look right. Again, it's disguised, by the way. Look at this flip up mask. Like it's got like the Zentai suit thing, like they use for like Power Ranger costumes. So flip the it's like hood up over the hair, and then you can just raise and lower the mask on a hinge. That's cool. Cool. That's so much better. That's so nice. And even in the close up, you can see just how much sculpting goes into this design. Like I'm like genuinely kind of impressed. Like this is like a way better than we used to have. We'll get to that, by the way. That's at the end. We're going to take a look. The Optimus Prime, that actually looks really good. Like if you want a Last Night Optimus Prime as a design, it looks super good. Sword and shield as well. Like this is just straight up like modern movie Optimus. Like this is like a rockin' costume if you were a kid. Like this is like what I would have dreamed to go as for Halloween. Super cool. Super cool. Disguise isn't all full of hits. Once again, we're kind of going back down a couple price points here. We're kind of back to cheaper masks and something that's supposed to be akin to the Bumblebee movie. I think it shows a lot about the quality of this costume when I can scroll through all of the stock photos, and it's the same photo over and over and over again. Just they keep mirroring it to make it look like more photos. It's not. Show me the back, show me the side, show me how much this torso is pronounced. You're not going to do it, are you? No. Maybe they're not proud of all of them. Now, obviously, there's some that are very, very good. And then there's things like this. If we keep going, we have another from Disguise, and look, we have Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. No arm day skipped. This is busting out at the seams Optimus Prime. This is, I worked solely on my upper body Optimus Prime. Look at that. His shoulders are wide enough you could, like, land a jet on it. Like, that's imposing. Like seriously, like, if I saw a kid that's, like, strutting down the street and his shoulders and chest were that massive, I would get out of his way. I don't care if he's 8 and he's holding a orange trick-or-treat bucket. I'm just getting out of his way. And look, on this one, you got, like, a full helmet in the back, too. Like, this one's got some, like, extra effort to it. I mean, like, everything about him looks extra effort. It's Swallomus Prime. But, again, it's weird, like, the diverging qualities sometimes. And then this guy also goes G1, which I also kind of appreciate. So, we got the Saint with the mask is back. But now we've got this boxy design. Again, it's more toward the evergreen design, but, you know, it is boxy. It's puffy in the right directions, but it's, like, squared off, too. So you get a classic looking Optimus as well, which is actually really, really cool that there's, like, all the different options. You know, this is better. This is good. This is nice. You know, and then, like, you want full G1, we can do full G1 as well. Like, I love it. I really like this. I really like. I will stop at love, but I do really like just how this looks overall. Yeah, it's kind of makes me wish, like, so, like, to be truthful, like, I'm putting on a show for the sake of a video. I've got a costume for Monday. I've got a costume for tomorrow here at the toy shop. But frankly, like, I don't need it. I don't need. I kind of wish I had looked through this first before I started going, like, oh, I'll just go down to Spirit Halloween and see what they got that fits me. Oh well. Well, this wouldn't fit me. This wouldn't fit many people. Yeah, just like Optimus Prime is a skin-tight spandex suit for a woman. Guys, have you ever wanted to make out with Optimus Prime? Are you changing your mind about that? Let's not forget, this is still the internet. We can ruin anything. Especially if we're paid to do it. Thank you, Disguise. This one made me laugh. We have a leftover. It's been on Amazon for quite a while, I would assume. So we have a leftover Bumblebee from RID 2015, and the mask, I think, is hilarious. Aside from the fact that the eyes are completely cut out, so he kind of looks dead, but this, like, grin, this grin on his face just looks so cocky and arrogant. Like, it doesn't feel Bumblebee. Again, it's got, like, plush armor and, like, shapes to it. That's correct, but also, like, it's that face is just weird. The face is just weird. Then there's stuff like this. There's stuff like this. Keep in mind, it's still all the exact same costume company. Look at how detailed this is. Look at the hard edges. Look at all the sculpting and paint. There's, like, actual paint work. There's rust. There's weathering painted onto this thing. This is genuine. Like, this is real deal. Like, this is real deal. This is polyester, spandex, foam, polyurethane, helmet, polyvinyl chloride, ethylene vinyl acetate, LED module. There's lights. Yeesh. Oh my god. I mean, it's $330, but man, look at what you get. Look what you get. That's as close as you're going to come to looking like the real Bumblebee. And then we got the same thing going for Optimus Prime. Only $308. But again, like, there's some immaculate detail going on. And you've got, like, real, like, genuine costume parts. Not just your simple, like, throw together Halloween stuff. Like, this is, like, something you'd walk around in a convention wearing. That's cool. That's really, really good. I don't know if it's $300 good, but if you really wanted to impress, this is the way to do it. You might notice something about this, and that the fact that, like, literally every costume on here is Bumblebee or Optimus Prime. Of course, they're the two biggest characters, so that's what they're going to market. But you'd think there'd be at least a little bit of variety, right? Like, again, like, this is all the same company. Like, this is all Disguise. Did they do anyone else? Did they do any other Transformer character besides just the two main heroes? Yes. Yeah, one heat wave costume. That's it. And it's a toddler muscular one, so it's not really too accurate to heat wave. But that's literally it. That's literally it. I couldn't find a Megatron. I couldn't find a Starscream. I couldn't find a Grimlock. I couldn't find anything else. This was it, literally. And of course, I couldn't find anything for the girls either, outside of that one, which I don't think would be appropriate to go trick-or-treating in. But there's also things like this. So I started searching elsewhere. I searched Google, and I came across like this Make Mascot thing. It's a site that makes all these cheap knockoffy mascot kind of costumes, and came up with this weird Optimus Prime, which is not being worn by any kind of model, so I can't tell exactly how it's supposed to look. It looks like it's made for a 5-year-old, but obviously, like, it's a lot of big foam pieces, and it's supposed to be like a store mascot thing, so probably not. I think it's weird that it has the knee pads from like the Deluxe Classics Optimus Prime. Like, it drew its inspiration from some really weird spots. But I figured, like, okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to get a Megatron costume? What do I have to do to get anyone who isn't Bumblebee or Optimus Prime? So I started looking at vintage stuff, and like, what vintage? Like, could I get any other character? Well, yeah, I can. A company called Collegeville used to produce Transformer costumes in the 80s. And this is what you got. This is the Megatron costume. It is a very cheap plastic mask that does not look like Megatron from the cartoon. It barely looks like he does from the toys. And a plastic smock that does not make you look like Megatron. It is literally the logo, a name, and his box art. And that's your costume. That was you going out as Megatron in 1984-85. Like, that is how you trick-or-treated as a Transformer in the 80s. You weren't playing Optimus Prime. You weren't playing as Megatron. You were a billboard. You were a walking advertisement for the other kids that were out in much cooler costumes than you. And this is not the only thing. Look at the Optimus Prime. Look at the Optimus Prime. Ignore the fact that the mask is upside down. But look at this. You know, Optimus Prime, the classic hero who's in his like iconic safety orange and bright yellow pants. You know, like the most famous color for Optimus. Where's this repaint, Hasbro? Where is this Gen Select? Optimus Prime in 80s smock and plastic pants. The weird thing about this is, like, this company did a ton of costumes back in the day. They were all like this. They were all based on cartoons and toy lines. There were He-Man ones like this. There were Thundercat ones like this. GoBots. They did GoBots just like this. And they did generic Halloween costumes too. And they're all pretty much exactly like this. They didn't try to make you look like the character outside of the bad mask. They just they just printed box art onto you and sent you out the door. And it's the most random stuff too. You would still think, like, Soundwave costume, right? No. No Soundwave. Grimlock costume, right? No. No Grimlock. Surely there's a Bumblebee. No. I couldn't find a Bumblebee. Do you know who I found? I found Snarl. I found a Snarl costume. Oh, excuse me. It's not Snarl. They sold this as Dinobot. Not Dinobot, D-I-N-O. Dyna, D-Y-N-A, bot. They put Snarl, they printed Snarl on this, and they didn't bother to learn his name. They just printed what someone heard over, like, an 80s quality phone call. Just print Dinobot on it. Did you say Dinobot? Whatever. Who cares? Most of the kids wearing these can't read. And they did so many random ones. You could get Silverbolt as a costume. You could get Superion as a costume. You could get Metroplex. They had a mask for Metroplex and Ultra Magnus. I saw the masks. I didn't even see if they had smocks. It might just be the masks. Top Spin. They made one for a jump starter. It's not even in the cartoon, and someone in 1985 said that's who they want to dress up as. This is the most random character we could pull from the toy aisle. We've got it way better than we used to. I envy the kids of today who get to actually look like the characters instead of what I had to go dressed up as, hoping the whole thing didn't catch fire. Oh, I'm sorry. They advertise these as they don't catch fire. I'm not going to tell you how they advertise them because I don't want to be demonetized. Go find. Okay, it's Collegeville Transformer costumes. Look at the front of the box. I think the terminology is not technically wrong, but they didn't really phrase it correctly. I'll let that be a little Easter egg for you to go find on your own. And I'm going to end off the video on the funniest thing I've found when searching eBay for all these random costumes, which is this kid. So who's wearing the jump starter jumper, and he's also wearing his Optimus Prime mask upside down. And what is laughable about this is that no, the seller for this one on eBay was not actually selling the costume. They were literally selling the photograph. Here's a photograph of some random kid and his presumably little sister in an extremely bad Transformer costume getting ready to be very humiliated on Halloween night. So that is essentially your history of Transformer costumes, how far we've come and how much better they have gotten. And man, I wish I had that. But you know what? If I want to spend $300, I can look exactly like Bumblebee, clanking parts and all, and then I get to have that like lovely drive to the party with all this like plastic armor clunking around, hoping I don't get pulled over as I have to get out of my car as a man wearing a car. You know what? I think I'll just stick to my Dungeon Master costume. A little bit easier to handle. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you appreciate what we have today, because you never had to deal with the smock costume, most likely. If you did, my condolences. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.